why did you lie about the person you're with and say it's been two different people and it's not?
I didn't lie. I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
Hi everybody. In today's video, we have such a rare treat. Amber decided to post an incredibly uncomfortable TikTok. That's the best way to describe it. Her new TikTok is uncomfortable. It makes, in my opinion, people feel uncomfortable because it's just a little creepy. And Tommy is speaking out on Instagram, as well as Amber is very, very bothered. She needs to talk on her community page post about a keyboard and how people are flattering her. Amber letting us know exactly who she is. It's not that often that our girl can't hide who she is. This is one of those moments. So we have some Amber Reid drama. It's an exciting time to be alive. She is so bored at home doing absolutely nothing that she couldn't even wait until October 1st to come back. She said she's coming back October 1st. Does it look like October 1st? Also, Foodie Beauty has been rejected for her apartment, so she couldn't get that apartment because they rejected her. And she does a 6-hour live stream where she talks about how love isn't enough. We're going to get to that. Also, she doesn't seem to understand why she was rejected. It's as if you're not living in the real world, Chantal. So we're going to get into all the drama. I feel like a girl of 2021 again. All right, everything I'm saying just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm sharing opinions, not facts. I'm publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave them mean comments. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, girls. So Amber posted a really inappropriate and creepy TikTok, which has a certain overture, which has a certain vibe to it, okay? I know that Amber really is super desperate to convince us that she is looking for a new girl, that she is, doing thirst traps on TikTok. It may look like a thirst trap on TikTok. I can assure you it's not. My opinion is she's still talking to Tommy, still obsessed with Tommy, and in her mind is still dating Tommy. Okay, that's what I believe. So this is just one of these TikToks to throw you off and also remind you, just like the shorts are there to remind you on YouTube, the TikTok is there to remind you that Hans Christian Pookie Reed, is interested in what? Is this what you do during your what I do in a day at my fake job thing? Okay. And by the way, I've always encouraged her to dance and have fun. This is not about her dancing in the video at all. It's about the thirst trap that she's pretending that she's doing. Make no mistake about it. She's trying to throw you off. She believes that she is with Tommy. I'm not saying she is with Tommy, but in her mind, she believes that she is with Tommy. So this fake thirst trap that she's doing, and watch it at your own risk, that's Rarity Cat over there. That's her name on TikTok. Oh, remember after that cat that she abandoned and lost just because she needed to be with Tommy in Wisconsin, and you didn't even know that your cat was missing for 24 hours, Hans Christian Pookie Reed? Keep getting new cats and keep working for free on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. Yeah, really inappropriate and lovely TikTok. Don't say that I didn't tell you about it, okay? Yeah, just inappropriate. I don't think anybody your age does these type of TikToks, and don't worry, in her mind, she's not single. She's with Tommy. Let's talk about this TikTok. So in this TikTok, except for the uncomfortable movements and uncomfortable behavior that Amber exhibits, listen, don't come back to me now and tell me that I didn't warn you. But anyways, except for that, Amber is lip syncing a song, which she has done hundreds of times. She knows how to lip sync a song. But because she's put zero effort into this TikTok, what's happening is she's not lip syncing in turn, not in like basically her mouth is moving to the words, but it's not at the right time. This is petty and pointless. Do you know why I bring it up? This woman isn't even working. She's choosing to, like her comments said, film, edit, watch it back, and post this TikTok. Could you not have put 5 seconds worth of effort and made sure that you were lip syncing on time to the song? Because the whole idea is when people lip sync on TikTok, it's supposed to be in tune. It's supposed to be at the right time. You're opening your mouth and lip syncing. Honestly, This is just an example. In general, I wouldn't bring this up really, but this is just an example of how there's never any effort into anything that you do. And then you're wondering why you haven't grown your YouTube, why you haven't grown your TikTok. And lip syncing is not a big deal. I want to make it clear, just like her copying a trend is not a big deal. But when you put it all together, this is why you can't grow your channel and your TikTok the way that you want. With the way that she has been on TikTok, she could have already had 1 million followers, but you don't want to put effort into anything. Speaking of Tommy, Tommy made the following post on her Instagram. Okay, so she posted a picture of a horse that she's been working with, that she's been helping, and she wrote, "There's something powerful about helping a horse learn to trust again. I've been working with this guy to rebuild his trust in people. It might be more healing for me than it is for him." So I understand that her general point is that it's very healing to work with horses. That's great. Notice how she says to rebuild trust in people. I think she's trying to, and this is just my opinion, not a fact, but I'm 100 on this. I think she's trying to say that it's healing for her to try to rebuild her trust in people. This is just my personal opinion, of course, not a fact, but I'm 100 on this. I feel like whenever Tommy speaks out about anything, like the last time we talked about her speaking out, she was talking about narcissism. I think a lot of these posts are about her relationship with Amber. Obviously, she's taking care of this guy and she's, helping him rebuild his trust in people. But it's healing for her, in my opinion, because maybe she feels that she's rebuilding her trust in people. Here's my opinion about Amber and trust and rebuilding your trust in people, Tommy, with Amber. You had the internet very readily available to you, and you could have looked at the videos that people make about Amber. And even if she told you that all of the videos, hundreds of thousands of videos, were all lies, which, by the way, that doesn't even make any sense. I know Amber always says this, but let's say somebody doesn't like a YouTuber and there's a few negative videos about them. It would stop eventually if those people were wrong. Remember what I'm saying to you right now. It would stop eventually if those people were wrong. But with Amber, it's hundreds of thousands of videos forever because people are not wrong. And by the way, even if Tommy didn't want to watch videos about her girlfriend, why didn't Tommy watch videos from her own girlfriend? The number one person that is exposing Amberlynn Reid is Amberlynn Reid. So all Tommy had to do was look at Amber's videos. See, Amber always tells all her new prospects, all her new potential caretakers, that reaction channels are liars and they make up stories about her, even though all you have to do to see that she's lying is watch her content and just take a look at least one reaction channel. The majority of reaction channels use Amber's clips and then they give opinions on it. So how can they be making stories up about you when it's your clips? Tommy had everything at her disposal. Tommy, did you not have access to the internet? I know you did, because that's how you met with Hans Christian Pookie Reed. Why didn't you just watch at least one of Amber's videos? Amber has numerous videos on her channel called I Lied. No other YouTuber other than Amber has that many videos on their channel stating that they lied. My point is, when people first meet people, right? Like, let's say you first meet up with a person or you're going on a first date and you know their name, you have Google available to you and you can Google them and you could see their Facebook and you could see their Insta. But the bottom line is, none of these people, more than likely, are Amberlynn Reid. So none of them are public figures where they filmed their life in diary form, right? Where people expose them or anything like that. I feel like Tommy had way more available to her on the internet than the average person dating an average stranger, right? So you could have looked this up. Everything that Tommy needed to know about Amberlynn Reid was on Amberlynn Reid's channel and on Reaction Channel's videos. And I can understand, I will even give the benefit of the doubt that, if I was dating somebody new and they were, if I was dating somebody new and they were a public figure, I wouldn't date them, but I digress. I'm trying to put myself into the shoes of a person who's a regular person. So I get it. Maybe you don't want to watch content about them, but just go to their own channel. Her saying she didn't care about a human being having a heart attack. Her stealing her partner's late mother's inheritance.
She would also be sure to take away any money I'd get from other sources. I mentioned this before, but even being seen collecting change would trigger her to question whether I was saving up to leave her. When my mother passed away, me and my siblings received a portion of a settlement for my dad's job that ended up being around $5,000 to $6,000 for each of us. I was not allowed to keep it. She told me that the money had to go into paying the bills and my half of the rent. My mom had plans for when she would have received that money before she passed away. Getting it was bittersweet, and I would have liked to use it in some way to honor her. She wouldn't have wanted Amber to have it.
Her stealing her friend's late mother's washcloth. It goes on. And that's not even the worst stuff that she's ever done, although it's pretty up there. There's way worse stuff. My point is, it's all on her channel. The next girl that dates Amberlynn Reid, how about you familiarize yourself with who you're dating? Why did I bring this up? My opinion, not a fact, but I'm 100 on this, is that if Tommy had just done a little bit of research on Amber's own channel about who Amberlynn Reid was, she wouldn't have gotten into a relationship with her, or she would have been mindful of how seriously negative this situation would be. So listen, hindsight is 2020. Understand that, after we have bad relationships, we look back, we're like, yeah, now I'm healing my relationship with people. My opinion is that that comment is about when, maybe it's helping and healing Tommy too. It's about Amber. Just like the narcissism comment, in my opinion, was about Amber, the last one. But the point is, my advice to anybody who's going to date Amber Reid or anyone else on the internet, obviously, most of us do not have that person's online diary, available to us. But if you do, watch it and familiarize yourself with who you're dealing with, because Amber is a manipulator and a love bomber, and she knows exactly what to say. So in Amber's first short that she uploaded, copying famous TikTokers, pretending that she's at work when she doesn't have a job, she had a keyboard that she was typing gibberish on. By the way, a bunch of people figured out, like, I don't know, keyboard typing sleuths. They figured out that she was literally, Hans Christian Pookie Lynn Reid was literally typing gibberish. What a stunning turn of events. So she had a keyboard, right? It was like a pink keyboard. So Amber, who has deleted every single post off of her community page, clearly because she must be hiding something, has decided to grace us with her presence on her community page. So this is what is so important to write on the community page. You can see where her motivations lie. You can see what's really important to her. Absolutely nothing. And this post is incredibly important. I'm going to show you why. So many are saying they love the keyboard, got it off of Amazon. My other one that I was using came with my pink Mac that I recently bought. And yes, that really is me typing. Thanks for flattering me.
Well, that's a nice move.
So she is flattered because people are probably telling her that they don't believe that it's her typing and that she can type this fast. And I guess she's flattered because they like her keyboard. No one cares about the color of your keyboard. Nobody is interested in a keyboard. And if somebody is, for Kermit's sake, go on Amazon, put in the word pink keyboard, and you got your wish, okay? Here's my point. Amber very rarely lets us know exactly who she is so blatantly. It's usually through actions, but here she actually wrote it. So she is flattered by people asking her if that's really her typing. Just think about the nonsense in that. First of all, no one asked you about your keyboard. And if 2 or 3 people asked you, it doesn't mean you should be flattered. It's an item you bought. As far as your typing, again, a skill you'll never use at work because you were literally pretending to YouTube that you had 2 different jobs, 2 to 9 and from 7 to whenever. Amber, get help. Get help ASAP. Nobody is interested in your keyboard, okay? And by the way, I know exactly what she's going to say. Everyone messaged me privately on Instagram about the keyboard. Okay, 1 or 2 people messaging you about a keyboard does not make an interest in the keyboard. Like, this is all you have, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. This is all you got. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, how dare anyone accuse you of being a narcissist? You immediately got flattered because somebody was surprised you could type fast. Somebody hold my Kermit. Okay, so here are some of the comments that Amber got. Girl, address the gibberish you were typing and calling it your job. Yes, don't worry, everybody. As I said earlier, people have found out that she was just typing gibberish. Hans Christian Pookie Lynn Reid is not currently employed. I think my Kermit is better employed. Faking working was one of the most pathetic things you have ever done, and that's saying something. Okay, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree. There's way more worse things that she's done than this, but she did fake working. It's sad. Oh, we weren't flattering you, LOL. This one I love. This is where Hans Christian Pookie Reid claps back. She responds to people. So somebody says, back with a vengeance, I see, LOL. I give it 2 weeks before you're back screaming at your chat on live streams. You can't help yourself. Love that for you. Edit, forgot you were getting sued, LMAO. How's that going for you? Oh, she'll be screaming on live again soon, somebody says. And Pookie says, nothing to scream about. I'm in such a happy and peaceful time in my life right now. This really got me. It really made my day. You know why? So right before Tommy and right before Tammy exposed Amber, Amber was saying that she is in the best place she's ever been. She's so happy. She's so in peace. Let me tell you something. If you believe nothing else I say, believe this. Right after or right before Amber says that she's in the most peaceful, most happiest place she's ever been, really big, serious drama is about to happen. Okay, you mark my words, you believe that whenever she says she's in a good place, things are about to happen. Then, because she's lying. She's not in a good place. She sits home all day and obsesses over TikToks now. What a wonderful time to be alive, girls. Nobody said they love the keyboard. Girl, I'm gonna need you to grow up. Amber, I'm gonna need you to stop spending your money on foodie beauty. Look at this. You deserve happiness and freedom. $20. Look, I don't want to say it's a deep dive, but it's enough of a dive of where I did a whole bunch of videos explaining why Hans Christian Pookie Lynn Reid, Amberlynn Reid, and Foodie Beauty are frenemies. They don't like each other. Foodie Beauty has extensively said how much she dislikes Amber, and Amber keeps giving her money. Foodie Beauty recently did like a 6-hour live stream, and in it, Amber has yet again donated $20. I got a question for you, Amber, let's just talk about it. Since you're such really good friends with Foodie, even though she has extensively said she does not like you.
It's like me and Amberlynn, even though I don't like Amberlynn. No, actually, I can't stand Amberlynn. No, actually, I can't stand Amberlynn.
No, actually, I can't stand Amberlynn.
And I'm fine with it.
Why don't you just give her $100? I mean, you're so generous and magnanimous. This is actually your friend, right? Why don't you give her a few $100 to help her get back to Canada, Amber? Only $20? Wonderful. By the way, you know that clip I just showed? I picked it for a reason. That proves to you, just in case you don't know, and Amber, just in case you don't know, that Chantal already didn't even like you way after she left Canada. So I know that Amber's the type of girl that will say, well, she didn't like me when we had that argument and fight it, when she was still living in Canada, but then everything changed. No, it didn't. She was clearly already with Salah, saying that she didn't like you at all. In fact, she says she couldn't, really be interested in you at all. And you give this person money. I love that for you. This is desperation 101. Let's talk about the new short that Amber posted. So she's pretending that she wakes up at 7 a.m. every morning. She does not. She's playing with her cat. She's eating a cheese Danish, getting some Starbucks, meeting the DoorDash guy outside, which is the most weirdest thing I've ever heard of. It's Uber Eats, not Uber Meets, and it's, door dashing, not door dashing to meet you on the street. But whatever floats your Kermit, girl. Anyways, I think it is suspicious that she needs to meet the person outside. I think she's afraid of them seeing her apartment, but I digress. And she's sitting there and pretending again to work. So for those of you that haven't seen my other video, I did talk about how she is copying a creator named Matt on TikTok. And here's the thing. It's okay to do these trends because on TikTok, they all copy each other. That's not a big deal. Like, people copy each other on TikTok. But Amber has copied every single thing this woman has done, from the tapping on the ice water to just every single thing she's doing, because when you do a trend, you're supposed to, just show what you're doing, like using that trend, meaning like how do you spend your day. And I saw a comment that is like perfect here. But basically, like what Amber did is she just copied what other people were doing instead of showing what she would do when she was at the very least working on YouTube. Somebody said, this is what she thinks people who work from home do all day because this is what people on TikTok show. And that is a brilliant, understated comment. When you are sitting at work, you're not eating all day and typing, okay? You actually have to do work. It's not just typing. And Amber has no idea what work is, so she's just copying what she sees. It's not that she's showing popular trend. That's okay. But she never says that it's a trend on her YouTube channel, which these things aren't really done that much on YouTube. They're on TikTok. She's misleading her audience into thinking that she has a job when she doesn't. That's why I mentioned that she was just typing gibberish. She didn't magically, I love it when magic gets involved. Get your own channel, magic. She didn't magically just get a job. But it's not so much that she's copying the trend as that she's literally mimicking, okay? I love the word mimic. It's a close second after the word nemesis. But she's just mimicking every single thing this girl does, which is not how you do a trend. You put your own spin on it. Okay, so it's not that she's copying the trend, it's that she's literally copying all of these women's movements. Okay. I wanted to say a word about her cat Romeo. So she shows herself with her cat Romeo, and those people that don't know you and may just be recommended that short on YouTube don't know that you lost your cat Rarity and didn't know that she was missing for 2 days, and that you traded Rarity in my opinion, for your girlfriend Tommy. If you hadn't taken your elderly pets to see your girlfriend Tommy, you wouldn't have lost your cat. You didn't even know your elderly cat Rarity was missing for like over 24 hours. You're an animal mistreater. No amount of you showing, this cat Romeo and being like, oh, my baby. Meanwhile, you mistreat animals. You didn't take Twinkie to the vet. Okay, you left her shaking in pain. So none of these shorts work for me. But you know what does work for me? I want to encourage Amber Reid, Hans Christian Pookie Reid, to continue to post shorts on YouTube. I love them. You make absolutely no money at them, so I love them. For those of you that don't know, shorts make not a lot of money. So keep at it, Pookie Lynn Reid. Let's talk about Foodie Beauty's 6-hour live stream where she was raising funds for Canada. So she talks about her family, and she says that they're excited, but they're asking me, oh, are you coming back? Are you going back? Chantal, if no one's told you, I will. You're a burden to your family. Let's be realistic. She is going to continuously get rejected for apartments unless one of her family members gets the apartment in their name or co-signs on it, right? Like, it's common sense. She has beyond bad credit, multiple bankruptcies. Look, she doesn't have just one, she has multiple, and she owes taxes. So it's one thing if you have a bankruptcy, okay? There's no shame in it at all whatsoever. But if you have a debt where you owe your taxes and bankruptcies, what's going to happen is definitely no one is going to approve you for an apartment. You have become a burden to your family, Chantal, and not because of your financial issues. That's just something physically, that's a thing that they have to take upon themselves to co-sign for you. It's obvious. How do you think she got that apartment in Canada when she ran away from Canada when she was doxxed? Like, you think she really got it in, fully in her name without a co-signer? Please. But the reason that you're really like a burden to your family isn't because of the financial stuff. That's just a minor issue. I feel like your family isn't even excited for you to move back because you've shown them absolutely nothing. You've showed them nothing, okay? You weren't visiting them a lot. You don't care about your family. You know what it is? She thinks we can't tell what's going on. She cares about whoever is the new person that's going to take care of her and do things for her. She's very similar to Hans Christian Pookie Reid. So when it was Pete's taking care of her and doing things for her, it was Pete. Then it was some other guy. Then now it was Salah. You understand? So like, your family isn't non-intelligent, okay? They understand your whole situation type nightmare. They know that you never really cared about them. You're using them as a plan B. You're using them as a final resort. I guarantee you, if Salah wasn't living in Syria, she would have continuously stayed with him. I honestly think that she's leaving because she knows that the fake marriage is like not viable, but mainly they've never gotten along. They've always had problems. It was always a fake marriage. I don't think that she just now realized that he's just not that into her. She's leaving because her basic needs are not being met. So that's why she's leaving. I don't believe that they've suddenly, oh, we loved, we lost, we didn't use this, whatever. No. I think that what's happening is the relationship was always bad. She was always lying about it. He was always not into her. She always knew about it. But now her basic, comforts are being severely disrupted. And on top of that, the relationship is bad. You understand what I'm saying? If he was in any other country, like if they were still in Kuwait, she'd still be there. So your family knows that they're like number two or like plan B to you. So that's why they're treating you that way. You're a burden to them. They're constantly having to do things for you, to take care of you. And let me tell you something. I want to make this clear. I mention her financial troubles because she mentions them first. I don't think it's a big deal to have a bankruptcy. I don't think it's a big deal to be in debt because sometimes, and I want to make that very clear here, because sometimes people get into bad situations and they happen really, really fast. So I would never judge that. What I'm judging is her continuously throwing out the money that she's made through her viewers, right? And not just already settling in Canada. Why didn't you just settle in Canada the last time or the time before that or the time before that? Every single time this woman visited Canada, she should have just gotten an apartment and just said goodbye to this fake marriage. She's just not that into you. You haven't become a burden to your family because of your financial problems. It's because you're back and forth and back and forth. And they even said, well, are you staying this time? Because they know the tea that you don't really care about your family, Chantal. You care about whoever is going to be taking care of you. She then reiterates this nonsense about Salah, saying that no matter what, they are not compatible enough to be in a relationship, that they just cannot be in a relationship. This is what I'm talking about, all right, as far as the lies. This did not happen in a vacuum, okay? Bad relationships don't happen in a vacuum. She has known for the last 3 years that they can't be together. She's always known they're not compatible. And by the way, I don't just mean when he cheated on her. I mean because it's obvious he wasn't with you for the right reasons. My opinion, it was the money that you gave him, that 9,000 that his friend said that you gave him. But deeper than that, he's just not that into you. Hope it helps. I understand that I keep saying that, but that's because she says amazing things like this. And this, y'all, we talked about this before. I love it when people bring this up. Moment where some people won't agree with me, but I don't care. I'm just going to always tell you what I think. She says sometimes love isn't enough. The people that tell you that don't really love you enough. And if you don't want to take any advice from me, take that. There are some exceptions to this rule. Some. But in general, when somebody is breaking up with you and say, I love you, but they don't love you enough. Love is enough. I want you to understand that. True love is enough. If you love someone, you will move. If you love someone, you will make the necessary changes. If you love someone, you'll do whatever it takes. The reason that love isn't enough for these two people is because they never loved each other in the first place. So as this live keeps going on and on and on, she gets rejected by the apartment building. In the last video, we talked about this, how she sent some random apartment building like some money. So they claim they're going to give her her money back. Okay, so she's like, oh, am I gonna have to live in like a crappy apartment, in a bad apartment like I did in the beginning, like when I was getting off my feet? Okay, I just don't understand this. Do you really, Chantal, do you really not understand how this is supposed to go? So obviously they don't want to rent to you because of your bankruptcies and your bad credit. However, you need somebody to sign for you, like an endorser, or I don't know what it's called, whatever, a co-signer. I've already said it. So you need to have your mommy or whoever's going to co-sign for you, which, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to, but if you can get somebody in your family to co-sign for you, you need for them to go over there and say, I'm co-signing for Chantal, Marie, Everyday, Miriam, Foodie Booty, whatever. How could she not understand that? Also, I'll tell you something. Like obviously I don't live in Canada, I live in the USA, and it is very difficult to rent apartments, even when you don't have credit trouble, because like there's so many weird rules where like you need to make like 3 times the rent or whatever. It is just ridiculous. It depends on, of course, where you're renting, okay? And it depends on the state in the United States. But I'm just saying like it's hard even without credit trouble. So if she's really thinking she's getting the best apartment possible, girl, bah, you need to have a co-signer at the very least. But you know what? You did this whole thing to yourself. You already had an apartment. You were intelligent enough to get doxxed. I don't believe in doxing. I don't think that doxing is okay. I think that is the worst possible thing you could do to somebody. But you can definitely, as a public figure, help yourself along and not show your house. She shouldn't have showed her house. Will she be intelligent enough this time when she gets her new apartment to not show the house? I give her a week, actually a few days. She'll definitely be doxxed. Chantal, the thing to do is not to keep moving around. And then she's like, oh, because, you know, like, obviously, if she gets doxxed, she's going to want to move. No, stay there and tough it out and be an adult for once in your life. She says, oh, well, maybe they Googled me and saw that I was a, YouTuber and controversial. Yeah. Basic Google search alone. Honestly, it's as if these people, Hans Christian Pookie Reed and Chantal, are not living in reality. Right, that's about it for today's video. I genuinely hope you enjoyed it. If you did, check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.